Am I the a-hole for calling my dad by his legal name when he refuses to call me by my preferred name? So for context, I'm 16F and he is 46M. I have a long name, for example Anastasia, but I hate my name. I can acknowledge that it holds importance to my parents. So around relatives and guests, I let them introduce me as Anastasia, and the odd slip doesn't really matter that much. But my dad is adamant that Anastasia is my name and I should be addressed as such even when I've made it known that I don't like it. For context, I ask them to call me Anna and I introduce myself to new people as Anna. If you call me Anastasia, I might not respond simply because it doesn't register in my head. I've explained to both of my parents 1,000 times why I prefer Anna. It's shorter, easier to say, and it feels more like me. When I was younger, say ages 5 to 13, I went primarily by Anastasia. However, at that time I was also extremely anxious and in a very bad mental state. I'm a lot better now. With therapy and medication, I've managed to control my anxiety. But being called Anastasia reminds me of that time of my life, which only adds to my dislike of the name. The name brings back lots of old feelings, and it just doesn't fit me anymore and hasn't for years. Sometimes, my dad will call me Anastasia intentionally to make me upset. When we're at the dinner table, for example, he'll say things like, "Please pass the salt, Anastasia," while giving me a look that makes me feel like he's trying to prove a point. The point he's trying to prove is that my legal name is Anastasia and he doesn't have to call me anything else. Every time he's done that, I've either redirected or just said, "Anna, Dad," while passing what he wants. Here's where I might be the jerk. Tonight, I was fed up, so I responded with, "Sure, George," and passed him whatever he'd asked for. He flipped out. He got very upset because I was being disrespectful and I should never call him that again. I kept going and called him George, his legal name, a couple more times during that night. Additionally, he is adamant that Anastasia isn't your dead name, so I will continue to call you the name that I gave you. Now, my mom and him are saying I'm the jerk. He kept muttering under his breath the rest of the night, clearly fuming, but I honestly didn't care anymore. I'm tired of having to shrink myself just to make him comfortable. He gets to assert control by using my full name, but the second I do it back, it's disrespect. So am I the a-hole for calling my dad George after he kept refusing to call me Anna?
Here are the top comments.
Not the a-hole. You ask respectfully, he doesn't respect you. If he can dish it and ignore your request to call you Anna, he can handle being called George.
Not the a-hole. Odd hill for him to dig his heels into. I have a longer first name. And up until I started working more professionally, I'd always preferred the shorter version. Everyone respected that. I like my legal name in the workplace now as I use it as a barrier of sorts, like separation of work and social life.